Hey, this is Dirt Farmer Jay from dirtfarmerjay.com. Have you ever had a project like this where the end grain is split and dried out and then you're trying to figure out how to get glue or epoxy into it? Well, I've got a great tip for you. Stay tuned. Well, if you've ever done any fair amount of woodworking or you've had any fine furniture over a period of time, it's very likely you've had one of these form right at the end grain. It could be on the panel of a table or some kind of large panel or in your wood shop while you're working with something. Now, we've put this sample piece of wood here just to demonstrate this, and you can see right here that this crack is formed. Let me tell you very quickly why the crack is formed, and then let's show you a superb tip on how to get adhesive down into the crack. Well, I'm going to use a little bit of a object lesson here, or just an illustration. These coffee stirrers are much like the end grain if you magnified the end grain of raw wood. Wood grain is made up of fibers, and you've got these little tubes like this, and as you can imagine, there's a lot of surface area here. So the end grain is going to tend to dry out much quicker than the surface does, and when it does, the wood shrinks, and it's got to give somewhere, so a crack will form just like this. Well, it's good for the wood to be able to relieve the stress, but it's bad for us as furniture owners or project builders when you have this form. So how do you take care of it? Let's show you. All right, you've probably taken the approach of trying to get glue to go down in the crack, and a common way to do that is you use a thin blade of some kind. It could be a credit card or a putty knife or some kind of piece of metal, and you take glue and you puddle it on the top, and then you take this and you kind of force it down in there. Well, that's got limited effectiveness. Another one is use small objects like toothpicks, where you again would puddle the glue and then try to work the glue in the crack and all that. The problem is that doesn't get it down very deep into it. And trying to push glue is kind of like trying to push a rope. It doesn't work really well. You can pull it in a straight line, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take glue and we're going to pull it into the crack. Well, here's how you do that. I just take a piece of blue tape and I start at where the crack is, and I go around and cover that whole crack like this. The idea with blue tape is that, or this type of tape, painter's tape, is it has a moderate adhesive so it can stick, but it also can be readily pulled up. Now what we're going to do here is use a vacuum to pull the glue down. I'm going to show you how it works here. Every one of these is a little bit different, so certain areas of it's going to pull the glue in very fast, other areas are a little slow, but the bottom line is you're going to have a lot less mess to clean up, and much more glue will be down in the joint. By the way, this can also work with medium set epoxies if you're deciding to put a decorative epoxy or just using some kind of epoxy to glue this back together. All right, well, let's give it a shot. We've wrapped this, and that's to control where the vacuum or the suction is. We're going to take this and we're going to take our glue and puddle it up on the top of the crack here. And we're going to go ahead and take our vacuum, and here we go. Listen to the bees. Pull off some of the tape at the bottom. As you can see, the glue is already pulled into the joint right here. This open area out here, let's go ahead and feed a little bit more glue into it. You're going to see it suck it in. There it goes. It's taking the glue down and into the joint. And viscosity of the glue matters a lot. So this is actually an autumn day. The glue is a little cold. Room temperature glue is going to work better. But as you can see, look at it pulling it in, and we've simply affixed the vacuum to the bottom. Once you're satisfied that you've got enough glue into the joint, you can go ahead and shut off your vacuum and simply bead off the rest. And you can see that the glue is definitely down in the joint. Look at the end where it's pulled into the joint. A lot better than trying to push it down in there. Then You can do your typical clamp across the end of just simply clamping it shut, and watch that. Do you see the glue bead form? It's definitely got glue down in the center. When this comes to the gummy stage, it dries a little bit, let's say 15 minutes. Again, you can take the putty knife or a scraper and just scrape that off, lightly sand all this, and then you've got a repair that's going to last a long time and is going to be much more durable than trying to shove the glue into the gap. Hey, if you found this tip to be helpful, why don't you like our video, and better yet, subscribe to us. Until the next time, this is Dirt Farmer Jay from dirtfarmerjay.com.